Hey guys, I'm back. I have some really good information with y'all about the most annoying but necessary thing on this earth. War. Yay! My guides wanted me to talk about this. I've said many times, I live in Nectopia. That is my own little world, full of Care Bears and candy and lollipops and rainbows, where everything is perfect and nothing and no one gets hurt. Unfortunately, that's not how the world works. And I want everyone to be happy, but some people are miserable. Miserable people start war. Either by doing something, like betraying someone, that influences that other person to actually initiate and start the war, or by downright throwing the first punch. Either way, they started it, right? Instead of focusing on their own happiness. But anyway, I'm going to tell you all the two best weapons, in my opinion, when dealing with spiritual war. Number 1 is self-care, and number 2 is standing up for yourself. And with number 1, with the self-care, your enemies know this very well. That's why they will try to block you in some way, or deter you, or distract you from doing whatever replenishes your energy. People can read others very well, especially if they're tapping into energies that tell them things, like aka monitoring spirits. Because not every person uses their gifts for good. And eventually those people, sidebar, do y'all want to know what happens to people that abuse their gifts and use it for malicious reasons? Just to be a fucking hater? They get their gifts taken away. And 9 times out of 10, they go crazy. I have seen it so many times. Especially in Paulo. That's why you have to have a very strong core. And Paulo, if you don't have it when you get in it, it will try to give it to you. But you have to make the right decisions. And not get so wrapped up in the actual war. Because a lot of it is psychological bullshit. And the other is just miserable people abusing their shines and abusing their power. And all of that. But yeah, you abuse your gifts long enough and bad enough, you go crazy. Or end up in jail. Or severely hurt. But yeah, people can read you and see how you replenish yourself. Like, what is it going to be? The things that you enjoy doing. Because that lights you up, that ignites your spirit. It gives you happiness. It gets your endorphins going. If you're in war, start doing research on things. Instead of looking up spell after spell after spell to attack your enemy, start looking up what activities, like, help us to produce endorphins. And think about what makes you happy. Happiness is a very strong weapon. And I used to beat up on myself because I used to think, Nikki, this is not time for happiness and rainbows and sunshine and lollipops. Someone is trying to hurt you. That would be my first thought, right? So I would do my baths and do my rituals and do my reversals. Because most of the time, I never threw at my enemies. I would just send their shit back. Because I'm lazy in that way. When it's not even lazy, it's calculating. Free ammo? Bet. But that would be my first thought. And then my guides would say, no. Go in Nectopia. Go in your little world. Nourish your inner child. Watch a fucking Disney movie. Go to Disneyland. Play in your makeup. Dance, go dancing. Happiness is a weapon. And that's why your enemies hate it so bad. Because if you're happy, genuinely, chances are, in some way you're taking care of yourself. And that's not what they want. They want to suck you in. They want you to be so angry and combative. And yeah, sometimes you have to fight. I'm not saying be in your own utopia all the time and don't do shit to stand up for yourself. That's why it's weapon number 2. But make a list of 10 things that you can think of that make you happy. And if you have been in survival mode or in a depressed state for a long time, you might not know what that is. You might not know how to take care of yourself properly if no one ever took care of you that well. So start dabbling in things, healthy things. Dancing, hiking, hula hooping for all I care. Yoga, crafts, makeup, hair, jogging, volunteering. Go, instead of doing spell number 48 on your enemies, go volunteer at a homeless shelter or an animal shelter. Give something good to the world. And it will make you happy, I promise you. Because there's enough evil out here. I had a conversation with my madrina today about this. I can get sick right now. And there's some psychopath out there that will take credit thinking they made me sick. Deadass. I can stub my toe and they'll take credit for that too. It's all fun and games until they do that and the next morning they have a broken foot. I'm just saying, like, self-care is so essential, and they're always going to try to deter you. That's why you have to know yourself. And it takes a lot of time. Like, I'm still learning new stuff about myself every single day. But healing will give that to you. And these people that are our enemies, that we've done nothing to, that want to tear us down, they need healing too. My guides told me something beautiful. And before I say this, I want to go back to one of the very first things I said. Miserable people start war, either by doing something to give someone a valid reason to throw shit at them, or 2, by throwing the first punch. Good people don't just go around starting war for no reason. But you want to know what my guides told me when it comes to those people? Their words were, people that go around starting war after war after war about nothing or something very insignificant, or out of hate or jealousy, envy, etc., chances are they grew up in war. Meaning, they grew up in a house that felt like warfare. So they're used to it. Their body is used to that cortisol, that anger, that fear. And that, their upbringing is not their fault. It's not. But our trauma, even though it's not our fault, it is our responsibility to heal. And no amount of fucking somebody up that did nothing to you, or that you're just jealous of, is going to heal that broken part. Does justice heal when someone has done a lot of shit to try to hurt you? And they finally get theirs? Oh yeah. Because it's like, thank God, someone up there made that happen and was looking out for me. Finally. And made sure that I got justice, or my loved one got justice, or I got justice for my loved one, and they helped. Right? That's healing. That's why I'm okay with left-hand work. Anyway, number 2, moving on. Standing up for yourself. I'm going to tell y'all a little story time. I used to be a waitress, and this was a long time ago before I went full-time. I worked at an Italian restaurant that was owned by Mexicans, and most of the people that worked there were Mexican. Nothing against Mexicans. I speak Spanish. I spoke Spanish every day there. I learned to love my coworkers, like my family. Like, I loved them a lot. I did. And up until this bitch, we'll call her Angelica. That's not her real name, but it's close, so we'll go with it. Angelica worked at the other restaurant in another town. And I guess we needed help or something, so she started working at ours. And she did not like me from day one. And she didn't work that much, like maybe once or twice a week. But after about a month of her working shifts with me, I knew this bitch didn't like me. And I knew I wasn't crazy either. And she'd always make little comments. Like, your eyelash is lifting. Or, you need to go and she would say this in Spanish. Like, you need to go reapply your powder because you're shiny. I'm like, bitch, I'm a fucking waitress just like you. Do you not see me carrying these plates? And it's Friday night? And I'm sweating? Like, I know, bitch. I know I need to go get a Q-tip because my eyeliner is down to here. But before I could get to it, she would point it out. And then the crazy bitch started pointing things out that weren't even there. Like, oh, you have eyeliner right here. And I would look and nothing. I'm like, are you schizo? Let me not make jokes. Okay. There's nothing funny about schizophrenia. I'm sorry. I should have said, are you hallucinating? Anyway. The bitch hated me. And I knew she was throwing shit too. Because I could feel it. And I found out for a fact that she was. Miss Ma'am tried to do something with something birthday. Do y'all think that shit landed? Or went very far at all? No. That's why it's tiring to even talk about it. Something birthday was like, I'd rather not. I love her, by the way. I love mi santita. Yeah, I found out for a fact that she was throwing shit. And she kept on with those damn makeup comments. Why? Because she didn't want me to wear makeup to work. Because she's envious. She wanted me to be like her and not wear makeup. Which is fine, there's nothing wrong with not wearing makeup, but that's not who I am. I love makeup. And when it's especially when it's something that makes you look good, yeah, they're gonna target it. Whether it's by making comments like that, because she was trying to discourage me, right? Because she was throwing shit, and she wanted me to be in a low vibrational state. So one morning, we're setting up, we're opening. Alright. Anyway, sorry guys. Anyway, we're setting up for the day, right? I'm opening that day at the restaurant. And you know those big tea machines that restaurants have? She wanted me to, like, set up the tea. And to do that, you have to go get them from the dishwasher and carry them to the waitress station. And everybody there knew Nikki doesn't do physical labor at all. 1 second. Yeah, Nikki doesn't do physical labor. Everyone knew that. And it happened about 2 or 3 mornings where she would try to make me do that. And on morning number 4, I finally told her, Ya te dije, I don't do that. So, this bitch says, Mija. She doesn't sound like this. Her voice is much more manly and bitchy. How you can be manly and bitchy at the same time is beyond me, but she's got it down pat. So she asked me to do it again, and I say no, and she's like, Mija, tienes mucho tiempo aquí, y todavía tú no sabes nada. And I took a deep breath. And I paused. And I looked at that bitch and I said, Mira, yo sé que tú no te gusta tu vida, pero tú no quieres una batalla conmigo. Te prometo eso. What does that mean, you ask? Anyway, that means, look, I know that you don't like your life, but you don't want a war with me. You don't want a battle with me. I promise you that. And she turned red. And when I did that, it was like all her negativity. Even though I had been on top of my spiritual maintenance, right? My baths, my cleansing, my reversal. The actual standing up for myself verbally, it did something. It jumped timelines. It dissipated her bullshit and sent it straight back. And I called her ass out. I was like, Mira, I know you don't like your life. Because what did I say? Only miserable people deliberately start war. Either by harming someone unjustly or throwing the first punch. And I'm telling you, ever since that day, Angelina is just an afterthought. I never considered her an enemy, but my enemies don't deserve any names or titles or labels, because they're nothing. You're a speck of dust. Congratulations. Maybe you'll turn into a dust bunny one day. That's as far as you might get. You don't deserve any title or name. No. So, that's my video on the 2 best weapons for spiritual war. Obviously, the rituals and spiritual maintenance are very important and are part of self-care. But there's a lot more that goes into self-care than just our spirituality. Okay? If you would like to book a reading, you can click the link in my description and I will connect with you one-on-one. I make spiritual baths, I make jewelry, oils, soap, a lot of stuff.